Whoa! Life goes by so fast. How do we slow it down?
Aging is a disease that is hereditary. We get it from our parents. It's congenital. We're born with it. It's universal. It affects every single person that's ever lived. And it's 100% fatal. And it's also modifiable. With our current strategies, we can modify the expression of the aging process.
There is so much being done, explored, researched, that can make this natural process of growing older relatively painless. Without symptoms, we can all get older and still have a very good quality to our lives.
When we talk about aging, I think it's important to ask, well, what is it living? Because I think that, for me, it's a process. It's a process of, first, biological issues. We start very small, and of course we get larger, and then that largeness moves forward in some sort of manner in which the body ages. What I see happening is that certain aspects of dirt get in the system. And so in a sense, if we think about life as flow and health as flow, then removing the dirt places might be something that we could use as a framework for ourselves to say, okay, what am I doing that either adds or subtracts to the general flow and sense of well-being that I have?
That you start thinking about changing your lifestyle so that you don't mistreat your body quite as bad, so that you can extend your life and hopefully extend your life and continue to experience the quality of life that you've had up until your mid-50s.
It's kind of scary, you know. I'm enjoying my young stages of my life, but in a sense I'm very excited as well, because aging to me means growing older, having a family and kids, and eventually having grandkids. So I'm actually looking forward to that part in my life.
Skincare, my mom's on me about skincare every day so I can look young and beautiful when I'm older, but
you start to be wrinkly. It gets crinkly.
You get wrinkles?
And you get nose hairs.
At the present time, it's not possible to actually reverse the aging process, but it is possible to affect the aging process in a positive fashion.
And I think, like all baby boomers, we're just selfish enough to try anything to sort of reverse whatever damage we've done physically to ourselves in our 20s, 30s, and 40s.
I think what happens when you turn 50, by the way, it's something that happens because you know, it's like now or never. And, you know, it's not like you start feeling your own mortality. And, you know, you can't just delay the process anymore. And you got to, whatever you feel, you got to do while you're still here. Because life is so short. You've got to do it now. You know, you feel that pressure. At least I did.
Science is accelerating, and the rate of change of science is accelerating, so that the growth is actually an exponential growth curve. It's going up very, very rapidly. How we'll approach aging can be looked at as three bridges, the three bridges to the future. And the first bridge are the technologies that are available today. Bridge 1 include things like diet, lifestyle, exercise, stress management, taking supplements, the use of hormonal therapies. In order to get us to Bridge 2, the baby boomers who are now in their 40s and 50s will be able to take advantage of the Bridge 2 therapies that are going to come to full fruition in the next 10 or 15 years. And the Bridge 2 therapies include basically things related to the biotechnology revolution, which will enable us to stay in good health for the additional 15 years or so until about 2025 to 2035, when Bridge 3 comes into play.
Diet, one of the most important components of the Bridge 1 therapies. You are what you eat.
Probably the very most important thing that anybody can do is just shop the edges of the grocery store. And what I mean by that is not buy the processed foods, the canned foods, the frozen foods. Specialize in whole food.
Fruits and vegetables consisting of raw, fresh, rather than something canned and processed. Carbohydrates, the whole wheats containing a high quantity in fiber, regulating your digestive tract. It's important to have an intake of protein, meats, fish, eggs, and cheese, yogurt, nuts, beans, a variety of sources to find your protein. Serving size of all meats need to be 3 to 4 ounces.
Talking about aging, there are a number of foods that are very helpful. Fish is rich in omega-3 and 6 oils. This is a very good food. The grains, brown rice, wild grains are an excellent addition. Leafy greens, barley, and wheatgrass juices are excellent. The seaweeds are very good. Squash, berries, many of the mushrooms, some popular mushrooms that we eat, like the shiitake mushroom. Some we have here, like reishi mushroom, is actually called, one of the names for it traditionally is the mushroom of immortality.
I do better on the hunter-gatherer diet. So hunter-gatherers historically got a lot of exercise. They ran to get game, so we eat meat. And we also fished, so we eat fish. And we gathered. We gathered berries. We gathered vegetables. So the hunter-gatherer diet is mostly vegetables and protein. And the protein sources that we want are lean proteins. So things like fish. It has the omega-3 fats that are good for your brain, help fight cancer, help fight heart disease. Skinless chicken, lean cuts of red meat, tofu and beans. These are good, healthy protein sources, along with a lot of vegetables. And those would be some simple guidelines for what people could use in order to construct a diet program for themselves.
I've been a vegetarian since I've been about 18 or 19 years old. I believe in a whole grain, natural foods diet with no additives. I try and eat locally, and I try and grow as much food as I do.
This is Willow and Lacey, and these are the 2 goats that I milk every morning. This is Lacey's boy, Lazy.
I buy a lot of my food from an organic co-op, and I buy my food in 50-pound bags. Whole grain rice and wheat berries I grind for flour, and beans and things like that, and I try and grow a lot of the vegetables that we grow. I sell my extra produce to restaurants and individuals.
I am very careful in what I eat. I try to eat organic foods, and I try to eat lots of vegetables, less meat, and tofu, cheese, and I read how to cook vegetables. The way you cook them, it affects how many vitamins you take away. Sometimes you put, like let's say broccoli or spinach to boil, and then you rinse them. You are taking away all their vitamins, their natural vitamins.
Does my food give it to me? Well, unfortunately, no. Firstly, we're getting genetically modified food. We're getting soil that's depleted. We're also having insecticides and things on there. So for a whole host of reasons our food may not be giving us, and in fact may be depleting us.
The MSG and a lot of the preservatives are neurotoxins, and they put them in the food to preserve it. They put them in the food to excite your taste buds, so you think it's a flavor enhancer, but what it does is it whips the neurons in the brain. It excites the neurons to fire until they die. So a lot of people are eating a lot of this prepackaged food that has MSG in it, and if you have a neurological compromised system, it can really beat you up.
In the contamination in meat, the salmonella, the listeria, recall of huge batches of some food product, that had been out the door 3 weeks before somebody realized it had been exposed to some contaminant, and meanwhile, 7 people die in Milwaukee, from salmonella, from vomiting their guts out.
And the environment. We have toxicity in the environment. That depletes us, and that also has to do with aging.